let's move over to the Champions League. One of the biggest competition in Europe. Our own Victor Osimhen was in action yesterday. Galatasaray, they were unplayable yesterday. I watched that particular game, and
Fantastic,
the only
fantastic.
the only sad thing is that Osimhen did not get on the scoring sheet.
He didn't
Galatasaray,
score.
yeah, Galatasaray was a class of their own. They were able to dispatch, Juventus. And remember, when the season started, Okan Burak, the coach of Galatasaray, said something. The Turkish side, they've had this bad reputation in Europe. Any European competition at all, they always disgrace themselves in terms of performance.
They don't do well.
They don't do well.
They don't leave the group stage.
Okan Burak said he was going to change that, and we saw that yesterday. What do you make of that particular game? Luciano Spalletti, a legend of the game. He tinkered Atlanta. He tinkered Atlanta to winning. He tinkered Napoli to winning a whole lot of things, to winning the SerieA.
Napoli.
Yeah, to win the SerieA. Now, 5 games he has not lost. Went to travel to Turkey and he was whitewashed. Yes, even before the red card, the whitewashing was already going on before the red card. I mean, they were leading 2-1 and suddenly, they ended up losing 5-2. What do you make of that particular game?
I think that game, history speaks. So Galatasaray has never lost at home to Juventus. History speaks. Even date back to 10, 15, 20 years. So I think that was one of the motivating factors for Galatasaray yesterday. Despite going 2 goals down, or they scored first, Juventus equalized, Juventus took the lead, but then they remember that, oh, we don't lose to Juventus at home, and then the game turned on its head, and then it was massacre. It was massacre. It doesn't take anything away from Juventus. They're a fantastic side. Spalletti, fantastic manager, but I think history played its role in this game. So I'll just say history played its role, and it's a good thing that the Galatasaray manager has spoken about a weakness from the Turkish team, that they struggle a lot in Europe, and he has taken the Bulls by the horn and trying to set an example by beating one of the juggernauts of Europe in Juventus. Despite the fact you can say, okay, Juventus has not won the league in a couple of years, but they are still giants in Europe. And beating Juventus in that margin, 5-2, sends a statement that, okay, Turkey's league are starting to grow up. Galatasaray is taking the lead, and they are pulling other Turkish teams to get that mentality that Europe can also be dominated, same as the Turkish league.
Well, the same thing applies to the likes of Fenerbahce and the rest of that. However, do you think Galatasaray are going to be in the next round? I mean, they go to they go back to Italy with a 3-0 with a 3-goal margin lead. Do you think they can do it in Italy? Do you think Juventus has it in them to come back in that particular game? Juventus need to score at least 4 goals to guarantee that 4 reply goals to guarantee that they will be making it to the next round. Do you think Juventus can do it, or do you think Galatasaray is home and dry?
The thing is, Juventus have lost the game already. So let's just be honest with ourselves. But then, this is a game of 11-11. This is football. We love the game because of the surprises it brings. So we never can say, but Juventus will be going back to their house, the J Stadium, and hope that they can change something. But I'm pretty much sure with that 5-2, and considering the fact that Juventus also lost one of their players to red card, so I think it is going to be a very, very difficult match for Juventus to come back. But we never can say, home advantage plays its own role. Like history helped Galatasaray win this
Yes.
match 5-2. We never can say what history would. We never can say what history has in stock for Galatasaray at Juventus home. So I think it is still an open game. You understand? But I think Galatasaray has an upper hand in it.
Let's move over to the game against PSG versus Monaco. I mean, last season PSG started the league phase of the Champions League poorly. They had to drop down to the playoff. The same thing is happening this season again. And last season they had a French opposition in Bre, and now they're having in Monaco Balogun Folarin, our own Nigerian guy that's playing for the US. put Monaco ahead, 2 goals ahead, and Monaco allowed that to slip, and PSG coming back. What do you make of that particular game, and what do you make of the chances of Monaco? Monaco has the knack for inconsistency. One of the things they are consistently doing is that they are inconsistent. How do you throw away a 2-goal lead against a PSG side at home?
You know, we first thing we need to understand is they are neighbors. You understand? So they are neighbors. They've met each other for a couple of times. And to be honest with you, I think at some point Monaco got intimidated. That was why they lost that match, because they were playing well at first, 2 goals up, no need for you to panic. But then you remember that, oh, this is PSG, our neighbor. They normally win the league, and then the panic came in, and for no reason at all, they lost the game. Well, like you said, they've been consistent in inconsistency. So I think that just plays its own role. You understand? And ever since they won the league with the Mbappe's, Bernardo Silva, FACup, they were never the same after selling those guys. And I think, despite even spending a few couple of millions, they are still far away from it. Folarin Balogun, fantastic player, at least getting 2 goals. It made him the highest goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League, the highest goal scorer, the highest American goal scorer in this year's UEFA Champions League. Yes, and getting 5 goals ahead of Pulisic on 4 shows that he's doing well. But we should never forget that Monaco and PSG are neighbors, and when you look at their head-to-head, definitely PSG have been putting them through roller coasters of different kind of beatings and emotions. So I wasn't surprised about the result yesterday.
But I mean, PSG goes back to the second leg, win the second leg with a very slim victory. Yes, 2-3, and I don't think that is too much of a mountain to climb for a Monaco side. If they can put themselves together, I think probably a Monaco side could do it. However, there's a particular player in the PSG side, Desiree Doué. That guy has been very fantastic. He scored 2 goals yesterday, and those 2 goals were very crucial in ensuring that PSG won that particular game. What do you make of the performance of Desiree Doué? And remember, there is an issue between Dembele and the coach. Yes, they find a way to resolve it. Dembele was not also available yesterday because of injury and the rest of that. But Desiree Doué stepping up, and the current African Footballer of the Year also stepping up to score a goal in Achraf Hakimi. So what do you make of the performance of Achraf Hakimi and Desiree Doué, especially marshalling the midfield and also contributing to goals?
Well, the thing about Desire is he's a fantastic player that is not getting the recognition, which is very painful. He should be in the bracket of players like Yamal, players like Olise, but he's not getting that PR, he's not getting that attention. Fantastic player. Came on yesterday, took just a couple of minutes, got the first goal that brought about the rolling up and the likes. Fantastic player, wonderful player. That's to show you the abundance of talent at PSG. Imagine somebody like Desire being on the bench, you understand, and coming from the bench to affect the game. So which goes to show you that there are a whole lot of players in PSG that can actually change games. Somebody like also Achraf Hakimi coming from right back, getting a goal, goes to show you that they are not Champions League winners for no reason. It wasn't a fluke. But also the return leg, trust me, they are neighbors. So I don't think Monaco stands any chance going to PSG's house to get anything at all. You understand? But this is football, like I always say. Anything can happen. It's a game of 11-11. PSG have been inconsistent of late. They've not been the PSG that we know. They've not played like the PSG that we know. Yes, we might say, okay, there are some traits that show that, okay, this was the pattern they followed last season, but then last season is last season, this season is this season. You understand? So I think what happened last season, if they do not arrange themselves well, will not repeat itself this season.
Okay, that's fantastic. We also saw, Borussia Dortmund dispatch Atlanta at home, 2-0. There's a particular Guinean that has been doing so well. He moved from RB Leipzig to Borussia Dortmund, and he has been very fantastic for them. Seko Gorasi has been very fantastic for Borussia Dortmund. He scored a goal yesterday, and also made an assist, and is one of those complete strikers that can score goal with any part of their body. Right leg is there, left leg is there, headers is there, set piece is there. He can score goals with reckless abandon. He was there yesterday and delivered for a Borussia Dortmund side. What do you make of that particular game?
Uh, Gurashi has been a fantastic player. I followed him for a very long time because I followed the German Bundesliga a lot. I followed him when he was at Cologne. Cologne sold a player called Anthony Modest and they replaced him with Gurashi. You understand? Fantastic, fantastic player. I followed his career for a very long time now, and I can say that yes, I'm not surprised by the fact that he's banging in goals. Yes, and the only part that just pulled me off was is the fact that he's doing it in the UEFA Champions League, considering the fact that he hasn't been there in a very long time. You understand? And he's there and he's banging in the goals. Fantastic, fantastic player. He has been under the radar for a very long time. Dortmund got him for a steal, I think 15 million or 16 million for that kind of striker. Fantastic, wonderful striker. And we know Dortmund as a club that has a nick for getting strikers. They have this special eyes for picking strikers, and they've done that again. He's a fantastic, fantastic player, wonderful footballer. I wasn't surprised that they beat Atalanta. Atalanta have been struggling this season. They've not been the Atalanta that we know since when Gasperini has gone. When Gasperini joined Roma, and you can see Roma are obviously doing well, but Atalanta have not picked themselves up. So I wasn't surprised, and considering Dortmund's present form, it was just a stroll in the park for the original Dortmund. And I know that would be the case for the second leg as well because Atalanta are just not it at the moment.
Okay, let's go to the last game of the night. A bit controversial, and as an African, I felt some type of way in that particular game. Vinicius Junior scored. He went to the corner. He was dancing. We know Brazilians will dance. Lucas Paqueta, Richarlison, and the rest of them. The samba dance is part of their celebration. It's part of who they are. You can't take that away from them. He got a red card, and Gianluca Pristini, an Argentine, and this is not the first time we've seen Argentinians being racist against Black Africans. Yeah, remember the World Cup final. The same thing happened between France and Argentina, where there were comments made about racism and the rest of that. What happened in that particular game took away, from the beauty of that game. What do you make of that incident? Vinicius Junior accusing Gianluca Pristini of racism. I mean, I don't understand the reason why he decided to pull up his shirt. If you want to say something and you want somebody to hear, why pull up the shirt and cover your mouth when you are not having cold? And unfortunately, nothing could be done. The game had to continue.
Well, it is very, very painful that 2026 we are still having issues of racism in football, and it is very, very. It is the yesterday's case is very disheartening because it is between two South Americans, people from the same continent that are neighbors, technically neighbors. So it was very, very touching, but there's always been an issue between Argentines and Brazilians, and it has gone way back. You understand? But I don't think the racist chants should have at any point come out or been said to Vinicius Junior. And the thing about Vinicius Junior is, I think he needs to have people around him that will sit him down because he's becoming a target these days. Because they know any slight provocation at Vinicius Junior, and what they wanted to do yesterday, I think, was to throw Vinicius Junior off his track. You understand? Try as much as possible to enter his edge so he has an awful performance. You understand? But for the fact that he got the goal, the pattern has changed. You understand? I don't think at any point in time there should be any racist chance to any footballer, any fan. Brazilians are known as dancers. They score, they dance. That's why we love them. They are the samba boys because they do samba things. But I don't think, for the fact that even there wasn't any penalty for that. I don't think that sits well with me because Mbappe said the same thing, Vinicius said the same thing, and I don't think the two of them can be lying at the same time. Because with Vinicius' reaction, it was very glaring that yes, he heard something, he knows what he heard, and for the fact that Prestini had to cover his mouth to say that, there's no how he's going to debunk the fact that he didn't say that. But it's very, very disheartening and a wonderful performance from Madrid. In fact, I'm very happy that they won the match, and notably Vinicius getting the goal. You understand? So he just sends them back to the drawing board. Going back to Santiago Bernabeu is going to be a very, very different atmosphere, and they'll see a very different version of Vinicius because he's going to come out all blades flaring and the likes. But 2026 still having racial chants between players in the same continent is very disheartening. If it
Uh,
is between Europeans and other people, at least, but between South Americans is very, very disheartening. It's very wrong and very bad.
well, I think the Argentines are not beating the charge of racism. However, I was a bit disappointed in the comments of Mourinho. He was saying yes, Eusebio is he was a legend of Benfica, and because of that, there can be a racist. Nobody can be racist, and the rest of that. As if saying I'm not racist because I have black friends, saying that makes you not a racist. I mean, I'm just hoping that UEFA comes out to address this issue. This issue has been going on for a very long time, and it's high time it stops. It needs to go beyond. It needs to go beyond the banners that we see in games where they chant "Say no to racism" and the rest of that. And at the end of the game, we see people being racist. So let's move ahead. There are a lot of games to be played today. We have Newcastle, Karabakh, Newcastle traveling away to Karabakh, Bodo Glimt, Inter Milan, Club Brugge, Atletico Madrid, and Olympiacos by Leverkusen. Um, Bodo Glimt has been very fantastic. They defeated Man City in one of their games. Do you think, Inter Milan? Yes, Inter Milan also won their game controversially. There was a lot of terrible calls over the weekend against Juventus, and they ended up winning. A goal was cancelled that was not supposed to be cancelled. Refereeing in the top 5 league has been terrible. Probably we'll get to talk about that on Friday. But for this particular game, do you think Inter has what it takes to be able to dispatch a Bodo Glimt side, owing to the fact that this is a side that has shocked much more bigger teams before they were able to qualify for the playoff?
Inter Milan are unbeaten in their last 12 matches. And out of that 12 matches, they've drawn only 2. I think that says a lot about this encounter. Yes, Bodo Glimt pulled a stunt against Manchester City. Everybody, we were surprised. But we need to be honest with ourselves. Manchester City are not the same this season. You
That's
understand?
true.
Manchester City they are not just the same this season. So, and considering Inter Milan's form, Bodo Glimt will have to do times 2. They have to put in times 2 efforts of what they did to Man City before they can get anything against Inter Milan. So for this match, I think Inter Milan are going to take it home. Definitely, they are going
Uh,
to win the match.
Okay, there's a particular, Newcastle side that is traveling to Karabakh, traveling to Eastern Asian countries, Eastern Europe country, is very difficult. Karabakh, has built a fortress at home. Yes, they've lost a couple of games, but they hardly lose. However, this against an inconsistent Newcastle side. You know Newcastle you will get. Do you think Newcastle have it in them to be able to dispatch a Karabakh side?
About Newcastle is, in as much as they are inconsistent, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I can hear you. This Newcastle side have been inconsistent. There's one thing I like about them. Any match you want them to win, technically they win the match. So a match against Qarabag, I expect them to win the match. But you know, this other side of Europe, their pitches can be very difficult. The playing conditions can be very difficult. So some of those things can play into it. You understand, and make Newcastle struggle. But I don't see Newcastle forfeiting a win in this game. You understand? But then this is football, and home advantage can work for Qarabag because those small stadiums, those small pitches, they've known how to go the 4 corners of those pitches. They know where the pitch bends. They know where the pitch is straight. They know, and these are things that Newcastle doesn't know. So it can play to the advantage of Qarabag. You understand? And but I'm thinking, and I feel Newcastle are going to go there and get the result.
Okay.
So
Battle of two Nigerians. There is a Raphael Onyedika that plays for Club Brugge, and there is a Adema Lukman that has been on fire for Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge. Atletico Madrid goes to Belgium to play Club Brugge. Do you think I mean, we have seen Diego Simeone evolve. He's now more attacking minded. He's now signing attacking minded players, and they are scoring goals with reckless abandon. Do you think, Atletico Madrid has what it takes to dispatch a Club Brugge side?
Well, one thing I can say about Atletico Madrid is they are very good in being inconsistent. Very good in being inconsistent. And when you expect them to win, they lose. When you expect them to lose, they win. So in a case like this, going to Belgium, I think they might go there to like grab a draw because Atletico Madrid is no, I don't consider him as one of those serious managers. They can sign a lot of attacking players, but then they go into matches with 7 defenders. It can be funny at times. And then for against Club Brugge, I think they should be able to get the results because I don't even think Club Brugge have been top like that. And considering the fact that they just defeated Barcelona, you understand, I think they'll still be in the high street. Despite the fact that they lost to Rayo, they lost to Rayo because of a lot of changes in the lineup. But I think coming to this game, this is the UEFA Champions League. Atletico Madrid knows how to play UEFA Champions against lesser clubs like this. So I think Atletico Madrid are going to get at least a point.
Okay,
Most
last
likely.
game Olympiacos versus Bayer Leverkusen. That's the last game. They will use this to wrap up. Olympiacos versus Bayer Leverkusen. Marinakis, the owner of Nottingham Forest, is not afraid to fire any coach. And you have an Olympiacos
At
side.
all.
Yeah, you have an Olympiacos side that barely escaped, being kicked out of the playoff phase. Do you think a Bayer Leverkusen side will be able to dispatch an Olympiacos side? And remember, Bayer Leverkusen is going away to Greece to play Olympiacos. We have come to the end of today's edition of the Goalpost. Do well to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video so you don't miss any notification when we upload any video. See you next time. Have a wonderful day.